There is this protest going on with NewJeans and HYBE, and it's causing a lot of people to talk about all the other artists in the label. People are saying that RM has come out as gay, and then we also have videos coming out of what was supposed to be a private event. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Disci, let's get into it. People were recently talking about a video clip that came out showing Jin dancing. This appeared as if he was at a Korean barbecue place, as we can see the vents there, and it seemed as if they rented out the entire restaurant for some sort of private dinner. Perhaps this was a staff party, perhaps this was a meet your quota or met your quota type of party, but overall it seems like a very private event, and it seemed as if everyone was getting rowdy and having fun, and Jin, of course, was also part of that. He got up and started doing a dance that was really popular a little while ago amongst streamers. This dance kind of just requires moving your hips side to side and thrusting as well. Nothing too different, nothing too strange from just the overall type of meme dancing that exists. This is all fun and dandy, and of course if you're working for the company or if you were in the room, you probably wouldn't have thought much of this. I mean, how many of us have probably been at a work-related event or party in which someone gets up and dances, and maybe we don't even like the dancing that they do, but we still think that it's fun and part of the event, and we kind of just move on and we don't think about it another second afterwards. However, everyone online was thinking about it, and this then became a big issue, as a lot of people were saying that he shouldn't have been doing that. And I think a lot of people get upset when they see K-pop idols do things that are normal things, because they tend to see the idols as more than that and thus should have a sense of decorum. But this is where I think people have long put K-pop idols, or perhaps even just Korean men, on this standard or pedestal that no one should really ever be on, to literally be dolls and only get up and move when they're told to. They expect celebrities to be dolls and to only listen to commands, and they would consider any type of movement or any type of enjoying a party or any type of action is deemed as something normal people do to be embarrassing. This has long been something that has bothered me or irked me in many different aspects of my life, because I grew up around people who listen to K-pop, and it has long been an issue with people putting these celebrities on these high standards. This is unnecessary to me. If I was a celebrity, I would feel suffocated. And I've had people put labels on me because they thought I was Korean, and thus they said that I should hold a specific standard. And then when I started making content on here, I also got the same thing, when in reality I'm not those things. I'm not the person who has a squeaky clean life. Like, my life has been kind of all over the place. I've seen gun violence. I've been part of, like, friends with people who have then been in gangs, and I've distanced myself from that. Like, my life is not by any means what you would consider pretty innocent. And it's always been strange when I was put into the squeaky clean category when my upbringing would not even be close to that. So then my personality is not going to be super squeaky clean in every way. That's just human nature, right? Human experiences, different varieties, flavors of life, and all that shapes who you are as a person. The real thing that bothers me out of all of this is also the fact that whoever recorded this video of Jin potentially was the one who posted the video. And that, of course, is a huge problem. Why are you posting videos of private moments? These are moments that should be kept to themselves or not posted on social media at all. In fact, if there is a private dinner or meeting with the BTS members, there should be a conversation going forward about people handing over their phones. In other news, we have NewJeans apparently returning to Adore. This, I think, was really shocking to people, because a lot of people were just thinking that it wouldn't happen. I mean, there was this whole press conference thing, there was this whole ongoing lawsuit, which I think I have talked about extensively in other videos and I won't get too much into here, but a lot of people are not happy with that whole situation and with how it seemingly seems as if the group had betrayed the label or has betrayed HYBE. Many have talked about how there have been some groups that have seemingly been implicated during the whole feud and perhaps got involved in that whole situation, even though the feud has nothing to do with them. With many saying that the girl group has brought hate to a lot of the artists in the label and thus should make an apology at the very least, or should stay away from the label altogether. I mean, this is not surprising, right? If you think about the series of events of what happened, if this whole lawsuit situation didn't happen, there would not have been a lot of speculation on what Min Hee-jin was doing, what the girls were doing, and just overall the hate that other artists were getting for collaborating with NewJeans and just mentioning them. Some people have also talked about the label potentially sneaking the members of the group into TikTok challenges in the future for other artists. So this happens all the time, where JK, for example, will perform with the girl group as a TikTok challenge to a dance, right? So a lot of people were saying that if they do that with any of the members of NewJeans, that's not going to go over well with the audiences, specifically if they're trying to use this whole "we are a family" thing, which is why they're doing it and we're trying to help each other out. That's not going to work. People are going to be really upset, because family obviously shouldn't be attacking each other, right? It's one thing to have a lawsuit where you can't settle things on your own, because typically that's where it'll go, right? If nothing is settled in real life, then it goes to court. But I think in this whole situation, no one was really listening to each other, and it was really strange why this couldn't get resolved, because I think a lot of people were listening to the case being like, this should have been happening behind closed doors. This whole situation also caused a lot of shame and hate towards the label as a whole, and launched this whole investigation on the label, as well as causing, as I mentioned, so many different artists to get hate. Why is then in return anyone sticking up for this girl group that allegedly was at the root of all this? So in that case, I do see the hatred and I do see the anger and where that's coming from. I want to give the benefit of the doubt here and say that we should still be kind and happy that potentially the situation has been remedied and they're all good now. The labels push family because we as the public want to see that, but they themselves know that it's not family, and perhaps we can also live life knowing that it's not family, and know that maybe the members within the group and within the label and all the members of the label can still just get along and be friendly with each other without being family. This kind of issue sometimes with entertainment is that people will like to think or tend to think that everyone's happy or whatever, because if everyone's happy, then we feel happy watching them. But sometimes it's okay to know that there's still drama in the thing that we're watching, but still realize that they're maybe still trying their best to get along, and that's another thing too. We shouldn't just assume that anyone who's working together, anyone that we see that is associated with each other, necessarily likes each other. It's okay if they don't like each other and it's just like a colleague. And of course they probably shouldn't necessarily hate each other, as that can definitely show, but they can just be cordial with each other and that's it, right? People like to think that everyone, for example, that BTS works with needs to be friends with the boys, and that's just not the reality, nor is it even something that people care about. Sometimes people just want to collab with BTS and then maybe occasionally see them at award shows and stuff, and they don't really care to be their best friend. Not every person that you meet wants to be best friends with you, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you. You just don't want a friend. Maybe you're not interested in accepting new friends. Maybe they're not interested in accepting new friends. So when I say don't like versus hate, it's very different, right? Don't like means you don't love them, you don't dislike them, you have no opinion of them. After Arm recently posted a photo of him wearing a hat with the words "Techno Is My Boyfriend," people have been freaking out about that, with a lot of people saying that this is him coming out of the closet or potentially hinting towards being in a relationship. Photos that he had recently archived on his Instagram account had come back, with some of them being photos of him and another person, with people thinking that this was then a person that he was on a date with previously, potentially was dating long term, and had archived those photos because they had broken off or whatever, and perhaps now they're back together. And other people had also mentioned, we see one photo where it's a ghost emoji that's censoring out this person's face, and people said that RM is using a ghost because that would be his boo. Wild assumptions. Let me give a little bit of backstory behind all this and behind the context of the boyfriend hat. The cap was originally made popular by Harry Styles, and the hat plays on the nightlife of techno music, and there's a lot more tongue-in-cheek and quirkiness in this than people realize. The implication of a boyfriend in this cap does not imply a relationship or sexual orientation, but simply just implies the love of the nightlife, potentially portraying the boyfriend as the nightlife, or maybe potentially even giving a gender to a nightlife, but overall a nightlife is still an object or a thing. And of course, if you believe that this is commentary on a nightlife versus orientation, which I do think it's commentary nightlife, then we have to talk about what that means. It was believed that J-Hope mentioned that the new BTS album is going to consist of various different styles and genres, with RM showing that techno, potentially rave or night music, might be part of it. We can assume that we will be expecting that part. V has also apparently talked about incorporating jazz and that sort of stuff into the album. So we are already seeing a sort of different eclectic style that we are going to get. We also have to realize that oftentimes celebrities don't use their own Instagram accounts as their personal accounts. They're not posting something for the sake of posting it. Everything they're posting is to contribute to a vibe or contribute to an image, and perhaps the image that he unarchived are images that are going to be symbolic of what we might expect on the new album to be, rather than an admission of an orientation or admission of a boo. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you check out Patreon. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. Thank you so much for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.